Hello, first graders. Let's get started with our notes. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get out your giraffe paper. I think many of you have a brown piece of paper pinned to this paper, so you want to slide that off. We will be using this brown paper later on the next video when we do our art project. So I would just set that to the side. So you want to have your giraffe paper and a pencil. We are going to be taking notes about all of the different things that we learned about giraffes. So please just follow along with me. We're going to start at the top of the paper. Now, Miss Grakowski is going to go a little fast. Don't worry. You will have time at the end to pause the video and catch up with all of the note taking. Okay? So the first thing we can see that this arrow is pointed to the horns. Well, this is like a diagram. So we want to put on here one thing that we learned about a giraffe is they have two short horns. So I'm going to start way over here. I might even start off the line a little bit. You're going to have to write kind of small if you want to fit it on there. Two short horns. Now, if you want, you can pause the video and catch up right now before I go to the next one. The next thing we know about, we're going to do all these arrows first, all of the arrows. The next thing we know, this arrow right here is pointing to the giraffe's mane. So we're going to write here, short, brown, mane. And I had to put that really small because I don't want to write on the mane. We will be coloring that in, and if I color it in and my word is on there, I won't be able to see it. So if you didn't have enough room, you could even write it underneath. You could have written the word mane underneath. If you want to pause right now to catch up on that, go ahead. I have an arrow that goes across like this, and it's pointing down to the body. On a giraffe's body, they have lots and lots of different patches. And we learned that none of the giraffe's patches are the same. None of the giraffes look exactly like the other giraffes. So we're going to write here, we're going to start writing across here, patches are different and I had to write that really small, so you might have to too. You might even have to write it underneath. Patches are different. You can write it underneath here because I'm going to keep going. They're different sizes and colors. Whoops, good thing I'm writing in pencil. Now you have all this room underneath here, so if you need to write patches are different sizes and colors and you need to keep doing different lines, you can. Go ahead and pause and catch up. Their patches are different sizes and colors. Okay, do you see this line right here? It's actually pointing down to the giraffe's tail. The giraffe's tail, and this is a fact, I'm going to tell you about this fact. We did not learn this in any of the stories, but guess what? A giraffe has the longest tail of any land mammal. Now, a mammal is an animal with fur, and it said a land mammal. So, of course, you know, like a whale probably has a bigger tail than a giraffe. But we're talking about land animals. So, longest tail of, and I have to go down here, any land mammal. That's a lot, and there's a little bit more room if you have to keep doing lines. So longest tail of any land mammal. Be careful that you write small enough. You don't want to write on the giraffe because we're going to be covering him up. Pause the video if you need to catch up on that one. We're going to keep going around our giraffe. There are 2 lines right here pointing to the legs. A giraffe, we learned, can actually run kind of fast, and they can actually use their legs to kick. A lion, 1 kick could actually kill a lion. They can run, and this is a very short line, so I'm only going to do 1 word on each line. Can, run. We're going to write 35 mph. That means miles per hour. They can run 35 miles per hour. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to catch up on that one. Down over here, we're pointing to these hooves. I'm going to put 2 facts on this one. They have hooved feet, kind of like a horse. That means it's like a hard hoof. They don't have toes or paws. Hooved feet. Underneath that, I want to write that they have a powerful kick. Remember, it said they could kick. That's one of their ways to get those lions away. Powerful kick. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to catch up on that part. We're going to hop up to this next line. I know that we're skipping some of these boxes here. We're going to go back to those. This next line right here is pointing to the legs. They have really long legs. Long legs. Their legs are 6 feet long. Remember, I told you that even a baby is taller than an adult. So their legs are 6 feet long. That's as tall as Miss Graykowski. A lot of dads are about 6 feet. Some are dads are taller than 6 feet, but a lot of dads are around 6 feet tall. So if you imagine, we can even draw one here. Can draw a dad or even a mom. So we're going to draw a person right underneath. And this is just a diagram, so this is not a real person. Oops, there's your person. So if I draw my person, here's their feet. They're standing on the same ground that the giraffe is standing on. If this is the height of an adult, this is how tall the adult is compared to the giraffe. You could, like an adult could stand underneath the giraffe, because that's how long their legs are. 6 feet tall. There's a lot of adults. I bet you even some of your moms or even your dads aren't even 6 feet tall. You can ask them, how tall are you? If you're less than 6 feet tall, you could walk underneath a giraffe. If they are 6 feet tall, like Miss Graykowski, or even taller than 6 feet tall, they could stand next to the giraffe and their head would probably be right at the giraffe's armpit. So make sure you have your person drawn right here. That's how tall a person is compared to the giraffe. We're going to come up here. This one doesn't have an arrow on it. We can make an arrow on the end here. It's actually pointing to the giraffe's neck. They have a very long neck. Their neck can be 5 feet. I'm going to write it over here so it doesn't crash into my G. 5 feet long. Their neck, 5 feet long. Little longer than their legs, or a little shorter than their legs. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to catch up on that part. Then we're going to come up here. We have 2 arrows pointing to the giraffe's face. This first tiny little line up here is talking about their lips. Their lips are very tough. Remember, they have to pick those leaves off of those acacia trees, and the acacia trees have the pokies, all the thorns on them. So we're going to write tough lips. Make sure that's nice and small, because we have to write on this line. I might even move that over a little bit so it's kind of out of my way. Tough lips. Okay, you can pause it if you're trying to catch up on that one. This next one here is talking about their tongue. Remember their tongue, how long that is. So on this next line, I'm going to write long tongue. This is a tough word. I never think that that word makes sense. They have a long tongue. Remember in the story, one of the stories that we read together said that their tongue can be as long as your arm. Their tongue can actually be 27 inches long. So we're right, 27 inches underneath that, about as long as your arm. That is crazy. They need it, though, to get all of those leaves. Okay, so now that we've gone through, okay, go ahead and pause this if you haven't already. Make sure you can catch up on that. Now that we've gone through and done all the arrows, we're going to go back to the boxes. So come up to this box at the top. These are extra facts about giraffes. One extra fun fact about giraffes is they are the tallest land animals. Make sure you don't write that too big because we are going to do another fact underneath it. So go ahead and pause the video if you want to catch up on that. Another fact, see how I did another little, we call these bullets. So they're just like dots, like big periods. So this is my first fact because these are not real sentences that we're writing. These are just notes. And so I can separate them with bullet points. So this is a bullet, tallest land animal. This is another bullet. We're going to, do you remember that the giraffe like almost never sleeps? Do you remember that they sleep for 30 minutes? That's it. Oh my goodness, I do not think I could handle that. Miss Graykowski loves her sleep. It says sleeps 30 minutes. That's it. Goodness gracious. Go ahead and pause the video if you have not caught up on that one. 30 minutes each day. All right, we're going to jump on down to our boxes down here. Let's talk about what we have. One bullet point here. Let's talk about what a giraffe likes to eat. A giraffe eats plants. I'm going to do a list here. So I'm going to do a comma after the word plants. Twigs. Twigs are just like branches off of trees, little skinny ones. I'm going to put a comma there, and we're going to write and bark. Now, we didn't read about that, but that is another thing that they like. They'll pretty much eat any part of that tree, and their favorite part, I'm going to put a little heart here. Maybe even color it in. Just do your best on a heart. Their favorite, that's a heart is going to mean their favorite. Do you remember what their favorite tree is called? An acacia tree. So I'm going to put that down there. Acacia tree is their favorite. All right, pause the video to catch up on this box. All right, my friends, our final box. And this is going to be a fact that we didn't actually read about in one of our stories, but it is a fact that I know about giraffes, is that in order to have such a huge body, you actually need to have a really, really big heart, because your heart pumps the blood to the rest of your body. So they have a heart is a 25-pound heart. Our heart is probably about 1 pound. 25-pound heart. Let's do another heart. A 25-pound heart. Wow, that's a big heart, but it makes sense. They need to in order to keep their body moving. Go ahead and push pause if you need to finish writing this. So what I'm going to do, my friends, is it's kind of hard to get my whole entire paper on here. So I will show you the top half right now. If you need to catch up on anything that was on the top half of the video, push pause now. If you need to catch up on anything that I had at the bottom part of the paper on the video, go ahead and push pause now. If you had been pausing in between and you have everything written on the whole entire paper, you are going to go to the next video and we're going to do our art project. See you over there.